to the Medlook video tutorials. In this tutorial we're going to take a look at how to enter a new patient from the folder list or from the patient's account. To start, let's just do a right click on the folder list and say new patient. Up comes our new patient dialog. I'm going to stretch it so it's just a little bit bigger, and we can make this however big we want it to be. All the forms in Medlook, by the way, are they have a memory to them as to where they're placed and how big they are. So by default the folder is patient and it says new because we have any name for it, and we're on the edit tab. These are the tabs we have in Medlook for the patient account. Notice the toolbar, it looks very similar to all the other toolbars we have. There are a few other options here now. We have a printer option that enables at certain times. We have a folders option, which if we look at that, it's the same as the folder list that we have in the main part of Medlook. We have the recent list, just like always. We have the options because we spend so much time in Medlook. I didn't want to make it so you had to go back to the main program to get to the options. And we have a little button over here for crossover. Okay, let's start by entering a patient in. First off, we have the new button, which you can just click on new, or you can click the little drop down beside it and you see Control End as a new and clears all the fields, or you could say copy the default data, and then you have some other things down here for collapsing and expanding these different little categories we have here. These little categories, notice they can be open and closed, and notice over here they're closed because until you've entered in primary insurance it doesn't make any difference, doesn't make any sense to have the secondary, tertiary, quaternary insurance opened. So we have an account number. It's automatically generated for us. It just adds on to the last account number available. If we had deleted other accounts and we started at 1, it'll search through for 1. Maybe the first open slot's 98. It'll go to 98. It'll do that for you automatically. At the moment, the account numbers are numeric. We're going to add a chart number soon so they can be alphanumeric. Okay, to begin with, we have the account number. We could copy an existing patient. In this case right now we're not going to do that. Let's enter in a new patient. Let's enter in Flintstone, Fred A. He's a Mr. He's at 123 Easy Rock Lane, and he's in well, let's say he's in apartment 5. Although I don't think he shared an apartment with anybody. And the name of the town is Bedrock, and I'm pretty sure that's in California, and I think that's a 99205 area code. Yeah. And he's got a social security number 123121234, and I don't know what his home phone number is. Let's just say it's 444-555-1212, and they won't let him take calls at work. I don't know what his parents' name is, but we know that his wife's name is Wilma, and he's a good guy. That's going to be our comment for the day. And when was he born? Oh, let's say he was born on 5/12/1972. He's probably a minus 1972. He's an active patient, and we can keep sliding down. It's just like a web page. This active field is by default. You have active and inactive. If you need to add more categories for the patient status, you simply come over to options and slide down to where we have that information right there. Patient status, active, inactive. If I wanted to add more, I could say comma deceased, in collections, whatever I want to say there, and just hit OK. And the first item in the list is what the default item is. If you don't want anything to be the default, just put at the beginning, put comma. But by default you should have active for this one. Okay, so now if we look, our selections are active, inactive, deceased, and in collections. We're going to go with active. And he's full-time employed, and he's married. And the drop downs can be handled via the mouse, or they can be done with a right arrow, or I can hit M and it'll go to married, or O for other, or S for single. And tab, he's not a student. He's a male. Just hit an M to do that. Print on insurance. Yes, there are times when you may not want his stuff to print on insurance. He doesn't have a referral. The doctor is already assigned. There's only one doctor in this practice, and so it grabs the first one as by default. I'm not going to use any fee schedule for Fred. We want him to be able to be used in automatic billing. We're not going to apply any interest to late fees. We're not going to put a particular message on his account, although we could. If we wanted to put a message on, we just click there. It brings up the message, and we do dunning for messages. So you can have 30, 60, 90, 120 day and 120 plus day categories, but you can have a bunch of different messages up to 3 lines. Just format them the way you want. You can pick a message. I don't have any standard message I want to give Fred right now, so we're not going to give him a message. And if I was doing Pebbles, which we'll get to, we would say there's a responsible party. There is none right now, so we're not going to do that. He's not a managed care patient, and we don't have a recall date for him yet. So a recall date is like if we want to see him back in a year, it lets us know to recall him in a year. And he does have insurance, and his insurance is going to be Aetna, and he's got some policy number, and I don't know what his group number is. Oh, let's say it's Quarry, and whatever else you want to say here. He's self-insured, or self is relationship. We accept assignment, and their copay is going to be $25. We don't know what the deductible is, and you can use the effective date, start, termination date of insurance or not. It's up to you. And once we have that, we can enter in secondary insurance if we want to. It just proceeds the same way. If we did not have a particular carrier that Fred uses, we could come to folders. We could do carriers, new insurance. We could create a new one. Let's just see, who do we have here already? We don't have a United Health, so let's add United Health, and it's called United Healthcare, and that's going to be send to file. I don't know any of the rest of the information. That's all we really need for the moment. We'll just save it, go here, and let's give Fred that then as secondary carrier is United Health. Oops, I'm sorry, you guys couldn't see that. So we'll select United Health there. I'm going to slide down. And here is United Health 00002X. Okay, and whatever else we want to put in here. Okay, and you keep sliding down. We have these lesser used items that are on the HCMA form, the hospital, box 18A and B, the box 10A field for accident type information in box 14, and also in box 14 is the illness. And if you select one of these, which we're not going to do, you have the illness dates. And then the last item here is the extent of disability. If you had disability, then again you have dates associated with that. And where Fred's not disabled, he's a healthy worker in the quarry. And then you hit Control S or Save, and Fred has been entered into the system. And we can go to the summary. You see at the top here it has his patient number, his name, his home phone number. It would have his work phone number if we gave him one, has a primary carrier and secondary carrier. We go to the summary screen, and we see a quick summary on this is who Fred is and where he stands in our practice. And in a nutshell, that's how to enter a patient. If we wanted to edit Fred, we could just simply come back over and say, oh, it's not Fred A, it's Fred B. Notice it turns blue, it means it's been edited. And he doesn't live in an apartment like we thought. We just read it wrong. And we now know his work number is 445 616 0022. And save it. And it's all been updated. Notice his work's up here. Phone. And oh, by the way, he doesn't really have secondary insurance. So we just come over here and do remove and save it. And his secondary insurance is gone. Go back to the summary screen, and there's Fred. So Fred's here, his address, social security number. We haven't billed him. He uses this doctor. His account's active. We got a note on his account. Oh, he said he's single. We didn't mean to say he was single. I'm going to go back and change that to be married. Okay. So now he's married. No referrals. Male, 35 years old, primary insurance, $25 copay, and nothing's happened as an account yet. In a nutshell, that's how to edit and enter a new patient. Let's say we wanted to enter in Wilma. We simply come over here, and now we can come up here and we can say we want to copy an existing, or actually since Fred's already there, we could just start keying in a new we could just do new and copy the default, and then we can just say Wilma. But if we had gone to like the first patient in the list, we don't want to save that. First patient, and now we say, oh, now we have Wilma coming in. We can go to here, we can copy Fred Flintstone. Okay, and this is the first name field we need to change. It's Wilma. And when you come down here, everything here is the same, except she's born on a different date, 6 18 19 1975. She is unemployed, and she's married, and female, yes. All this stuff here will be the same. And insured is spouse, and first name is Fred. And I could have just come over here and just copy Fred. I can just copy Fred out, but all the information was copied anyhow. And so it's all in there just as before. She has no secondary or anything else. And we do a save, and now Wilma has been entered into the system as well. Now what about if we enter Pebbles in? So let's do Pebbles. We'll do a new account, copy the default. First name is Pebbles. I don't know what her middle initial is, and she does not have any. Okay, this is a good one. See, there's no way to not give her a title. So we go to Options, and we come down here to Title, and I want to make the default. Well, we'll just put it at the end. I want to make it in the middle here. Mr., Mrs., and then a space. And so now we have no title. For a pediatrician's office, you may want to have the space, comma, be the first item, no title. All the things here are the same, except she was born in 9/1/2005. And let's see, she of course is not employed. She's single. Yes, she's a full-time student. Female. Okay, sliding down farther, we want to make sure that she has a responsible party for billing, and her responsible party is Fred. So we come up and we simply grab Fred, and he's already all set up, and the patient's name is Pebbles Flintstone. And then the insurance over here would be relationship, would be child. Everything else is set up, and we save, and we've entered in Fred, Wilma, and Pebbles into our system, and we can do any edits we want on any one of those. That is the basics on entering in and editing patient information. I hope this helps you in your use of Medlook. Good day.